Welcome everyone to this little cooking demo. So this is going to be a very quick and easy little recipe that anyone can prepare at home. It's just some easy to use, easy to find oyster mushrooms. Now I have the oyster mushrooms right here soaking in a bowl of water. I know that a lot of people will say you do not want to be soaking water. However, these little guys did have a few bugs in them, and I just wanted to kind of get them out of there. So they're in there right now, but we can drain those out now. So now here we are. We got the oyster mushrooms. They've been completely drained of all the water, and they're just been dried up a little bit with paper towels, and they're just resting there right now. So what we're first actually going to do is we're going to marinate them a little bit. So in here we got a little bit of olive oil, and we got some chipotle powder, as well as garlic powder, and some salt and pepper. So just a little bit of each. We just want to kind of give a little bit of flavor. We don't want to overpower the oyster mushrooms. So this is just kind of like, you're looking at maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of each, a quarter of a teaspoon to a half a teaspoon each. Just want to make sure that they get a nice good coating on them. They will absorb a good amount of it. It doesn't need to be anything perfect though. So just give it a good little once over there. I suggest you put a gill side up when you're done, simply because it's going to allow, there's more porous area there. You don't want it dripping off into the paper towels. So there we have it. So the mushrooms are now marinating, and just kind of while they marinate for a minute or so, we're just gonna get the other things ready here. So in here, we essentially just have flour, just regular flour. We have one egg that's been whisked up here. And here we got some panko breadcrumbs, as well as onion flakes and red chili pepper flakes, as well as a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper and a little bit of garlic powder as well. So essentially the same things that were in the marinade there. We're just kind of going to give it a 1-2 punch to make sure those flavors are really in there. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir, make sure that's nicely mixed. And again, here you're looking for there's probably about three quarters of a cup of panko breadcrumbs in here, as well as maybe a half tablespoon of the red chili flakes, as well as the onion flakes, and maybe about half a teaspoon of the garlic powder, the pepper, and the salt. So now that that's ready to go, just kind of give these a little flip. Let the little excess oil drain off a little bit. Just wait about 10 seconds. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually do the coating. So in here, we're just going to add it into the flour. Right? We want to get a nice covering of flour all over here. It's going to allow the egg to stick to it. If anyone's ever breaded anything before, you know this classic process. And then straight into the egg yolk. It's an egg wash, actually, not egg yolk. It's a full egg in there. I'm gonna give that a once over. Make sure that's nicely covered. Gonna move it over to the breadcrumbs. And just kind of work it in between the gills, you know. The gills are gonna be a little bit harder for things to kind of get inside. You really do want to have a full coating in there. Otherwise your breadcrumb can come off. So you want to make sure that it's nicely on there. It's adhering. If you realize after you've done one that maybe it hasn't fully adhered, you can always dip it again into your egg yolk and then again into the breadcrumb, but you're gonna get a much thicker crust out of it. Some people will like a very thick crust, but quite honestly, you don't want it to be too thick, otherwise it might like break your teeth. So there's one. I'm just gonna fast forward and go through the other three. Now we're gonna fry these babies up. Okay, well here we are, ready to fry. So we got our hot oil going. You can see that it's just bouncing from one side of the pan to the other when I move it. So we're gonna just move into our schnitzels here. You don't want them touching. Make sure they leave a good amount of room in between them all. And just let them fry up for a little while. Okay. We're looking at about a medium-high temperature here. Inside I've got canola oil, vegetable oil will do. Use sunflower oil or avocado oil. I would suggest against an olive oil. And there we have it. So right here we got our three little oysters, oyster schnitzels. Let's serve them with a little piece of lemon just for a little extra kick of zest. And you can plate them with whatever you like. I always love me a good salad, so I got a nice little salad there, but you can serve this with potatoes or, you know, whatever is your preferred side, whether that be, you know, spinaches or if you just want to have them as is. You can serve these just kind of as an appetizers as well, solo for friends. So there you have it, oyster schnitzel. Enjoy.